Pornography, the topic that every parent fears talking about, but every parent secretly knows that we have to face it at some point. We have to know that seeing pornography is going to be inevitable for all young people in Australia. We know that by the age of 16, 99% of boys and 96% of girls have seen pornography. We also know in Australia that the average age to see pornography is 11. This is terrifying for parents. It's not something that we think we have to face that young. It's important for parents to understand that most children don't seek out pornography at such a young age. When they're teenagers, that changes a little. But we know that 11-year-olds are being faced with this issue. It is not because they're looking for it. We know that there's two primary pathways that children that age are exposed to pornography online. The first one is pop-ups that come up on gaming websites that kids might be playing. And the second one is by Google. If you think about all the innocuous search terms that you could look up on Google that actually have adult sexual connotations to them, that's how children are being exposed at such a young age. Pornography is a very big deal. It's very well researched, and we know that the negative effects for young people and their understanding of relationships, sexuality, even their own physical bodies is extremely negative. We know that for young girls, pornography can have an impact on self-esteem and their self-worth because we know that their perception of their body becomes skewed based on these people in the films. We also know for boys, it can have a negative impact on the way that they see female gender roles in relationships. We know that the vast majority of pornography actually has and contains violence against women. And so boys, when they're learning about sexual relationships and appropriate ways to treat other people, this is becoming a reference point for them. And they therefore think that a normal part of a sexual relationship might be to be demeaning, derogatory, and perhaps even violent towards women. Even if we don't want to or feel ready to talk about pornography with children at an early age, if they have seen it, we need to talk about it. The first thing you need to do as a parent is ask them questions about what they saw. So you're not telling them too much if you don't have to. Ask them how they felt. And then once you've had that conversation, just very calmly and casually let them know that that's not a normal part of being in an adult relationship. That adults treat each other with respect and care and have an importance to do with safety. Talk about relationships you have with your partner, with a friend of yours, and what's an appropriate way to treat someone and what's not. It's something as a parent that you need to try and keep in because you don't want to project your distress onto your child. You need to approach them very calmly and tell them that that's not how normal relationships are. That relationships between people are respectful and safe and they make you feel good. So the other thing that I like to do, if you can, is if you've got a positive relationship as a parent with someone, it might be your partner, it could be your friend, it could be any other adult, and say, how do you think we treat each other? This is how a positive relationship is supposed to be, and use yourself as a reference point. I hate this question. It's such a good question and I hate it. When your children ask you, why is it there? And why do people do that? Even why are people bad? These questions are all very difficult to answer. And I know a lot of parents want to secure the innocence of your child and not go too much into it. The truth is that you don't have to. Kids pick up very well on genuine expressions of how you might feel or how you might think. So if you say to your child, I don't know why they're there. I'm not sure either. People in the world are very different, and sometimes that's fantastic, and sometimes it's not. But as long as we keep in mind what we value and the way we're treated, then that's what really matters. It's so tough. Some parents want to be condemning, and they'll be like, there's bad people and you've got to be careful, and then some people go, everyone's nice at heart, and that's a hard one to dictate because it's a values-based kind of prospect. So I like to opt for the genuine response. In order to minimise exposure to pornography, we need to do a couple of things. So firstly, we need to set up very strong filtering systems on our child's devices, whatever they have access to. We do not want our child, who might have an affinity for pussycats, to all of a sudden stumble across photos that they were not expecting. And filtering systems work very, very well for this. So having parental control tools installed on every device means that kids will not get any sort of picture that we would be horrified for them seeing because they've looked up something on the internet. Secondly, we need to be talking to our kids about what to do if you see something inappropriate. Usually it'll be come and talk to you. But secondly, it'll be close it down. We want to make sure that they're empowered to know what to do if they are exposed to something that upsets them or they're fearful about. Minimising exposure is really important for parents to do because we know that kids stumble across pornography without meaning to. Filtering systems are incredibly important to have installed on your child's devices. Filtering systems like Family Zone will stop inappropriate content from popping up on your child's screen or coming up in a Google search. This gives you peace of mind as a parent that you know that if your child searches for pussycat, it's exactly what they're going to get.